Bonjour tout le monde. Ready to level up your French in just 45 days? Check the link below. Join our community for less than the price of a meal. Let's get started.
Salut! Ça va? As you are learning all these new words like ça va, you're probably wondering what are these little marks and lines on the letters and what do they mean? And do I need to use them? Are they that important? These extra little lines, like this line right here, is called an accent mark, and they are super important in French. We do need to use them and learn what they are, what they mean, what they're called, how they're pronounced. There's lots of little rules around these accent marks that are important. First of all, you need to know what the accent marks are because the accent mark can make a difference between what two words are. For example, OU means or, it's pronounced ou, and then OU with an accent grave, pronounced oo, means where. And in English, we don't care about something like that, letters that look the same and sound the same, like, okay, the word seal. Is that an animal? Or is that the closing of an envelope? Which seal do you mean? In English, we don't care. You just figure it out. In French, if it's a really short word like this, they put a little accent mark so that you can tell the difference. That's actually kind of nice. Thanks, French. So sometimes even if they look the same and sound the same, the accent mark means that it's a different word. Sometimes the accent marks actually get pronounced, and so not only does it look different, but it sounds different and it means two different things. For example, pâtes are pastas. They're plural because there's lots of noodles. They think of it as a plural thing. That S on the S end means that it's plural. Whereas pâté, with an E accent aigu, pâté is spreadable meat. Not the same as pastas. So imagine going to the restaurant and you're trying to order pâtes and you accidentally get pâté. Not the same thing. Pâté is actually where you take a goose or a pig, you fatten it up, you feed it a lot of rich foods so it gets like this really rich fatty liver, and then you take that liver and puree it into a nice spreadable delicacy. So that's pâté. You might not want that. You might be trying to get pâte. That's why accent marks matter. If you forget an accent mark, it's almost the same as misspelling a word. It affects the spelling, it affects the pronunciation, so accent marks are actually really important to learn. We're going to look at the main 5 kinds of accent mark that you're going to see in French, and I'm just going to take the letter E. The first accent mark is an accent aigu. It goes up. Aigu means sharp. It's a sharp accent. For example, identité has an accent aigu, and it happens on the letter E in French. If I were to spell a word and that word had an accent aigu in it, I would spell it as normal and I would name the accent. So I would say the word identity in French, identité, identité, I, D, E, N, T, I, T, E accent aigu. So I do say the name of the accent when I'm spelling something. An E with an accent aigu is pronounced A, like Beyonce or fiancé when you're engaged to somebody else. That A on the end is an accent aigu. An accent in the other direction, that is called an accent grave. Grave means it's going low, it's going down. An E with an accent grave actually sounds different. It doesn't sound like A, it sounds like eh, like in the word jet, like a jet engine, eh. This E accent grave, if I were spelling the word problème, I would say P, R, O, B, L, E, accent grave, M, E, problème. You can see this accent grave on A's, E's, or U's. On the letter E, it's pronounced eh. Some of these don't have a different sound. That A doesn't have a different sound, and neither does the U. You saw it on the previous page in the word où, meaning where. The next accent can also be on the letter E, so I'm just going to keep my E. It is what I lovingly refer to as a party hat, and its actual name is the circonflexe. Circonflexe. In English, I think it's a circumflex. It flexes around the word, I guess. On the letter E here, it means kind of like the previous one, jet. And if I were to have a word like hôpital, it would be H-O, accent circonflexe, P-I-T-A-L. They could just say circonflexe as well. So it could be H-O circonflexe, P-I-T-A-L. You'll see the circumflex on lots of letters. It doesn't get a special pronunciation on most of them. It actually has more of a spelling thing. I'll explain on the next slide. Tréma is two little dots. Tréma. And a tréma is very important in French. It means that you separate sounds. I'll show you better on the next slide where we can see some more word examples. We have this tréma, you probably never noticed it, but the word naive in English is a French word, naive. And to spell naive with this little tréma, I would say N-A-I tréma V-E, naive. You can see a tréma on E's, I's, and U's. And lastly, you are familiar with this one because you've seen it on the word ça. It is, and actually to me it looks like, so if you take the number 5 and drop the hat on top, that's the bottom of the cédille. So if you're ever drawing a cédille, if you're handwriting it, just draw the bottom of a 5, or it looks like a little like goatee thing or a tail. The cédille takes the letter C, which is normally a hard sound, k, and it makes it a soft sound in front of the letter A, U, and O. Those are hard sounds, ka, ku, ko. But if I add the cédille, now it's sa, su, so. And I can change the sound of the C with a cédille. So a cédille is pronounced like the letter S, sa, comme si, comme ça, or ça va. And if I were to spell the word ça, I would say c'est cédille a. So there you go. We have 5 accents that we're learning today. Accent, I can't tell which way it goes on the screen. I'm sorry. Accent aigu, accent grave, circonflexe, tréma, and cédille is the little tail. Aigu, grave, circonflexe, tréma, cédille. So just to look at where they're used, accent aigu is used on words like fiancé to make an A sound at the end. Accent grave sounds like eh, like the word jet. This is the word for mom, mommy, mother. Mère, mère. Now, if I forgot accent marks, you remember that when we learned the alphabet, the letter E is E. So this would be a fiancé, and this would be mère, and that's just sad. So I do need these accent marks. Actually, the circonflexe on this one, forêt, means that back in the day, there used to be an S there. So sometimes a circonflexe, especially on an E, can mean that there was an S in the word. So what is this? A forest, forêt. And if you look, I think at the previous screen, sorry, I got to click all the way back through. Hôpital, see that there's a circonflexe? It's hospital. There used to be an S in that word. It got replaced with the accent mark. Noël, I explained that it separates sounds. When you have this tréma on top, it means that O and E get their own sounds. It splits them apart. So normally O-E together in French is pronounced E. So this word would be Noël. But we know this word means Christmas, Noël. I'm going to split it Noël, Noël. So a tréma separates two sounds. And then lastly, the cédille makes a C sound, soft. So here's what I'm going to do. Find somewhere to write. And I'm going to spell 5 different names, just French first names that are common. And I want you to try to write down what you hear. And I'm going to spell them with the accent mark. So it's going to say something like mère would be M, E accent grave, R, E. And it is that fast when people spell their name in French and they have an accent mark. So I wrote down my answers. Let's try it out. Find somewhere to write. Pause this if you need to run and grab a pencil. And here we go. Je m'appelle César. So this guy's name is César. C, E accent aigu, S, A, R. C, E accent aigu, S, A, R. I'm going to go kind of fast through these because this video is already long. I apologize. César. C, E accent aigu, S, A, R. This next guy, je m'appelle Benoît. Benoît. B, E, N, O, I circonflexe, T. B, E, N, O, I circonflexe, T. Benoît. Benoît. B-E-N-O-I circonflexe T. A reminder, if this is way too fast for you, you can always edit the settings at the bottom to slow this video down. Or, if you're sick of me, you could speed it up. Just saying. Whoops. This is one of my favorite French names. I really wanted to spell it. Anaïs. A-N-A-I tréma S. Anaïs. This is a girl's name. A-N-A-I tréma S. Let me not click on the next one. Je m'appelle François. François. F-R-A-N-C O-I-S. F-R-A-N-C O-I-S. François. Now, if I did not have that little tail on the C, his name would be weird. It would be Francois. Francois. So I need that cédille to make the C sound soft. Thanks for hanging in there. Here's the last name. Je m'appelle Angèle. Angèle. A-N-G E, accent grave, L-E. A-N-G E, accent grave, L-E. Angèle. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you kind of understand more about how French accent marks work. We're going to do a little bit of practice with this following. But here are the 5. Accent aigu, accent grave, circonflexe, tréma, cédille.